Welcome back to Tzaneen and our continued coverage of the ARRO Africa Regional Rally Organization Midas 200 Tzaneen Rally. Day number 1, 3 stages done at night, done and dusted. And I do mean dusted because these guys took it in the teeth the whole way through the night. Couple of little spaghetti problems for the cars to get sorted out, but most of the guys were in the lineup for day number 2. Most importantly, Groenewald was going to be running the pace, and he opened up 5 stages of racing. 4 would be in the forest, and the final stage would be the showpiece on the tarmac roads in the center of Tzaneen. But the forest was looking good, and the crowds had found some incredible spots to view the action from above, below, and within the forest. And as with the story of last night, from cars 2, 3, and 4, the dust was super hanging in there. The times were getting much tighter, and like we said, if you held that advantage from the nighttime racing into the second day of stages, it was going to be very hard to get caught. Most of the cars carrying a couple of war wounds. Those trees at nighttime come out of nowhere, but for the most part, everyone was looking box fresh, and they were lined up good to go on day number 2. It was going to be a much longer day in the seat for driver, navigator, and pit crews alike as they tamed the forest of Tzaneen. Plump was still in the mix there, doing a great job for us there, showing us exactly what it looked like. We've already seen from the onboard inside of the Subaru Impreza in nighttime racing. Now daytime, a heck of a lot better. I'm sure you'll agree. Still, the forest of Tzaneen still very dense. Even though they haven't had too much rain up there, it is extremely dense, and it's going to be hard to find those lines exactly where you need to see. You'll not be able to see through the corners, and the navigators are going to have their work cut out, reading the road maps and making sure that their driver stays on point and gives them a clean run home. Quite short stages as well, making sure that they can get the most out of it. But as we know with short stage racing, you cannot make one single mistake. Some mechanical problems there on some of the cars there, just finding it hard to get the drive going. The buggies, as we say, and these are automatic vehicles. They sound like they are revved out the whole time, but they run a centrifugal gearbox, which means they just almost never run out of gears. And they're able to run some very respectable times. So nice to see that the African Regional Rally Organization have invited some of the guys that normally race in off-road championships to come and play at rallies. The guys from Waterworld having an absolute jaw out there in the Can-Ams. The rest of the field, as we know, made up of a ton of the Subaru Imprezas, an extremely popular vehicle. And then when we go a little bit further down the timelines, absolute ton of the ever-impressive, multiple championship-winning Ford Escorts. Love those things. Further down the field, a couple of the drivers and crews that had some problems in the night racing starting to come good as the sun was up. The 350Z still doing a lot of testing and working on their suspension setup to try and improve as the rally gets longer. One of our first timers out there, the L plate showing that it is a first time rallier coming out there in the Mark 1 Golf. For the daytime, a lot of the drivers did strip off the lights, but of course that's a little bit of extra spanner work. Most of the teams just leaving their lights ablaze as they were the night before. That was Henny just keeping an eye on proceedings. Henny Smit from Midas Tzaneen, making sure that his rally is running butter smooth. It always does. Peter Palooza, one of the crowd favorites, still in the mix there and trying to chase down a top 15 placing. He's got the Datsun on his wheel in those classic Datsun and Ford colors from the 1990s. And then a nice story here, the father and daughter pairing of Andrea and Anton Roths. At nighttime, it was dad behind the wheel. Daytime, Andrea gets her chance at going attacking the forest, and she's doing a sterling job. First time out as well, so a very tricky rally to start things out. But doing the day stages will build her confidence, and she'll get stronger as the day gets longer. The sisters getting the job done here. The Tennysons in the Corsa Light. The Mean Greenie still in the rally for now. Not taking any chances. And that's the story of rally as well. Bring it home. Make sure you get a time on the chart for every single stage. And these are results coming out of stage number 4, Canal. This was all about the Chronovolts once again. They laid down the big time of 15:56, and then it was small gaps, 25 seconds, 27. So it was very much a race for second place at the moment, but that race covered 5 crews all in all as they headed out to the next set of racing stages. Remember, day number 2 was all about 4 racing stages in the forest before they could start breathing clear air and hit a little bit of tarmac to finish off the incredible Midas 200 Tzaneen Rally. Plump was still in the mix, and he'd be looking forward to that tarmac. He's won a couple of championships around the circuits of South Africa. But he's back on the dust and the dirt now, racing on the rally tour. And he is one of the crews alongside his sparring partner, Van Tonder. They're starting to get a little bit faster as the day gets on. So stage number 2, keeping things nice and tight, and the Can-Ams revved out in the colors of Waterworld. These cars really can throw down some ponies, and the tracks look like they suit them absolutely down to the ground. It's a bit of an internal battle here as part of the African Regional Rally Organization Championship here at the Tzaneen Rally to see who can be the first of the buggies. That got a little bit gnarly there. Cameraman starting to step back and forward to try and pick up on all of the action, and you can see visibly the cars, the crews are getting comfortable with terrain around Tzaneen, and they are getting faster. The 350Z starting to show huge improvements as the day went on. Stage number 4 was a bit of a killer. We lost a lot of cars to mechanical problems, so we started to trim the fat, and it was now becoming a survival game as we closed in on the end of stage number 5. At the end of it, looked like there were 16 finishes all in all. So we started to lose a ton of cars, and the Tzaneen Forest was starting to show what it's known for. It's tough. It's super tough. Join us after the break as we close in on our final stages of the Midas 200 Tzaneen Rally.